Fisheries came within the framework of devolving self-resources pursued by Egypt to achieve self-sufficiency, food security, reduce import bill, provide job opportunities and support national economy from fishing. Egypt had prioritized the fish production sector according to the instructions of President Sisi. President Sisi launched huge projects in Ghalioun, El Fayrouz and El Diba. That sector had witnessed great developments, and Egypt ranks first in Africa and sixth globally in fish farming. The Egyptian lakes came on the top of the state's list to be developed and be able to face climate changes so we can reach the Egyptian self-sufficient in fish. Fish farming sector is a promising food production sector, especially that there is an increase in demand for fish in Egypt, where fish production reached 2 million tons and the target is to reach 2.3 million tons in order to achieve self-sufficiency and direct the extra amount for exportation. There is an authority for protecting and developing lakes and fisheries following a modern system and a scientific method to keep and increase what we already reached. Improving offshore aquaculture, leadership is interested in maximizing the fish production within the framework of 2030 strategy, according to the instructions of President Sisi. They are working on maximizing the Egyptian fish production through sustainable development of aquaculture industry. Developing the Egyptian lakes and increasing its production, which will increase the average share of each individual from fish production, not to mention taking the needed procedures to protect fish from diseases and providing a healthy, safe environment so we can have a high-quality production that can be exported. The government strategy aims at developing and purifying the Egyptian lakes in addition to restoring their previous condition. There is a joint work with concerned authorities to develop Egyptian lakes, Manzella, Mariut, Borollos, Bardawil, Edco and Qarun. There is a possible danger we might face due to climate changes and deterioration of environmental systems that can affect fish farming negatively, where most fish farms in Egypt are located in the northern Nile Delta lakes, such as Mariut, Edco, Borollos and Manzella. Climate changes might have a direct impact on the aquatic production quantity and indirectly on fish prices and cost of goods. Consequently, this will have a negative impact on the Egyptian food security. As temperature levels increase, the amount of dissolved oxygen in water decreases, so fish mortality rate will rise. We can face climate changes and overcome its negative impacts on fish farming through sustainable development of freshwater fish farming, using modern technology to increase fish production, making the best use of water units, genetic selection to produce strains that can withstand high temperature and salinity, plus reducing water usage by aquaculture techniques through improving water quality and putting integrative agriculture into action. This is done by integrating aquaculture and hydroponics in a symbiotic environment, developing feed factories and ready-made feed storage systems, developing fish hatcheries and genetic selection that can adapt to new environmental conditions. We can also focus on the scientific research sector and applied technology in all sectors of fisheries, with the need to conduct an environmental study for fish farming projects to raise the efficiency of farm management and protect beaches from erosion, reduce pollution sources, and assess the impact of climate change on the marine and coastal environment by using advanced systems. The country established the first fish farm at the end of the 70s in Kafr Sheikh, and Egypt became one of the top 10 in the field of aquaculture in the world. Now it ranks 6th place globally and the first in Africa with a total production of more than 2 million tons. The Authority on the Protection and Development of Lakes and Fish Wealth set a strategy to maintain growth of aquaculture sector through expansion of non-traditional production systems and developing traditional systems as well, especially with decreasing individual share of fresh water. This strategy aims at producing 3 million tons of fish by 2030. This strategy is based on more than an axis, in which extensive fish farming is the most important. This system aims at making the best use of the water's volume by using water in fish production and using basin drainage water in the crops, which reduces using nitrogen fertilizers in plant production. One of the important axes that maintain the growth and development of aquaculture sector is the investment in the field of marine cage culture, and the country has already specified 21 sites by the Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea to be exploited in the field of aquaculture in the marine cage culture. These sites were already placed on the investment map on the website of the General Authority for Investment. Cage aquaculture projects are considered to be highly productive projects in which water bodies of the seas are exploited according to the targeted type of cultivation, and it's important to adhere to the environmental requirements to preserve the marine environment and ensure the sustainability of the project. Developing traditional fish farms is the third axis of the strategy that maintains the growth of this sector by teaching farmers all about farming methods that would increase production, in addition to using modern technology by simplifying it in order to reduce its cost, such as using useful organisms while providing ventilation tools to reduce water drainage rates. Fish quality and protecting the health of the Egyptian citizens is a priority for the authority on the protection and development of lakes and fish wealth. Besides, the authority applies farm biosecurity system and fish hatcheries to prevent pathogens in farms and reduce the spread of diseases. They use modern technology to put Egyptian fish production at the forefront of the world. Fisheries is one of the most important sources of national income. Fisheries in Egypt occupy huge areas of more than 13 million acres. The sources vary according to their nature. there are Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea. As for lakes, there are the lakes of Manzala, Al-Brulus, Al-Bardawil, Etko, Qarun, and Maryut. On the other hand, there are natural resources including the Nile River, and there are artificial resources like Lake Nasser and Rayyan Lake, in addition to the fish farms that are located all over Egypt. The area of these fisheries is more than 11 million acres that includes the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, and despite the large area that it occupies, the fish production is low compared to the Suez Governorate. Marine fisheries occupy the second largest source of fish production in Egypt, where the Mediterranean Sea fisheries represent 11% of total fish production. Natural lake fisheries are one of the most fertile and richest lakes in the world in terms of natural food available for fish, and it is characterized by its moderate temperature, and that's why these lakes are the best home for important types like mullet, tobar, bays, bream, shrimps, and others. Lake Nasser's area is 1.2 million acres and is considered the biggest freshwater fishing area at Aswan. It's also one of the biggest artificial lakes in Africa, and more than 50 species of fish that belong to 15 families live there. The National Institute of Oceanography and Fisheries is conducting a survey for the beaches of both Red and Mediterranean Seas to have a map for fisheries to explore new fishing areas at different depths and to estimate current fish stocks in order to increase fish in the market. Actually, Salsabil's ship had already started surveying procedures at the Red Sea shore in March 2004, and Yarmouk's ship surveyed the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. Both ships are a gift from Japan International Cooperation Agency. They trained the crew of both ships well. Salsabil's ship is the only one that fits to make researches and study fisheries in the Arab region that overlooks the Red Sea. Both ships were received in November 1999, and ever since then, they managed to achieve excellent rates in their cruises. Despite the fact that both seas had been spotted from satellites, yet it was the first time for both ships to make researches, and they were equipped with trawl nets at different depths to discover spots of fish aggregations. They are equipped with the latest monitoring devices to avoid overfishing and determine optimal production. They also put into consideration auxiliary factors like environmental pressures, different pollutants like drainage, the industrial and agriculture. Yarmouk's ship started implementing its research program at the end of the year 2000 and made cruises to the east till Sahl al-Tina and to the west till Sidi Barani. It also conducted fish operations in Abu Qir Bay, in front of Burullus, Damietta, in front of Alamein, Ras al-Hikmah and Sidi Barani. Between the year of 2000 and 2003, they found new 14 species of fish of an economic value and 1 species of cartilaginous fish at the coastal areas east of Alexandria. Egypt's interest in fisheries is one of the most important pillars of comprehensive development in achieving best types of protein. It also helps in providing many job opportunities.